Thanks for your support for the conference. My name is Xu Dongqian from Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering. And for this session, plenary session E, we have 3 presentations. I would like to introduce the first speaker, Dr. Meng Cong, who has a PhD in engineering and is currently the Vice Dean of Architects and Engineering Company Limited of Southeast University Construction, Industrialization, Engineering, Design and Research Institute. Dr. Meng's research interest includes housing and building industrialization, and he has participated in many national and provincial level projects and national standards development, and he has obtained 5 patents in the field of building industrialization and 2 softwares. And he has published more than 10 papers. As the executive director, Dr. Cong has participated in research and development of 4th generation light structure housing products, and he has received wide compliments from the market. So without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Cong.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very honored to attend this meeting. I invite Mr. Chen to be my interpreter. OK， 今天呢，我主要想从这个设计的角度，简单谈一下我们在这个3D 打印技术在房屋建造中应用的一个案例。
This afternoon, I will share with you a case study regarding the application of the 3D printing technology in the construction from the perspective of a design.
我是一名的建筑师。
I'm an architect.
我的这个所在的公司呢是东南大学建筑设计研究院。
I'm serving in the Design Institute of Southeast University.
首先呢，我所在的这个团队呢是东南大学建筑学院张宏教授的团队。
I work in the team led by Professor Zhang Hong, who is serving in Southeast University.
对 ，yes。我们简单介绍一下团队研发的主要的一些方向。
We give you the briefing of the product that we are looking into.
主要是2个方向。
Mainly 2 directions.
其中一个是呢，就是装配式的轻型房屋产品系统。
One is the light framed house.
另外呢是装配式的现浇混凝土的工业化房屋系统。
The other one is a prefabricated rigid frame high-rise building.
大家看到的这个图片上呢，是我们目前已经建成的一些产品和作品。
These are the cases that will be completed.
我们想最近呢对这个在装配式的在建造中的应用呢非常感兴趣。
We're quite interested in this prefabrication construction.
想通过一个具体的案例呢进行一下我们设计的尝试。
And we'll brief you with a real case study.
要运用这个3D 打印技术呢，首先需要选择一个装配式的建筑体系，就运用什么样的建造模式来进行设计。
To apply the 3D printing technology in this prefabrication, we need the structure which is designed to be prefabricated.
最终呢，我们选择的是装配式的一种建筑设计的模式和建造模式。
And we decide to use the modular-based prefabricated building as our case.
我们运用了基于构建的装配式建筑标准化设计的方法。
We'll use a method which is based on the component-based prefabrication.
首先呢，构建是构成建筑的最基本的要素、基本的元素。
The components are the most essential parts in the prefabrication building.
装配式建筑呢，应该是由各种不同的建筑构件装配建造而成的。
The prefabricated building is made up by various kinds of components.
所以呢，建立清晰的构建系统是进行装配式建筑设计的 一个最重要的基础。
It is very essential that we build up a prefabricated system for this building.
装备式建筑全生命周期，它各个阶段呢，都应该围绕着建筑构建而运行。
The whole lifespan of this prefabricated building should be focused on the prefabricated component.
所以说呢，我们首先要确定装备式建筑的一个系统的构成。
Here is a structure of a prefabricated building.
装备式建筑系统呢由4大构建系统组成，
It's made up by 4 modules,
它们是结构构建系统、
which includes a structural module,
外维护构建系统、
envelope module,
内装修构建系统、
interior decoration module,
管线设备构建系统。
and facility and pipeline module.
这4大系统之下呢，又可以层层向下分解为具体的一些基本的建筑构件。
And in these 4 modules, there will be like more details, components to be included.
我们通过标准化的装备式建筑构建系统的分析呢，我们希望最终能够实现标准化的装备式建筑构建系统。
We wish to realize an integration of a standardized prefabricated components through this system.
下面就谈一下我们初步的一个装备式建筑设计的案例。
Here is a case study of a prefabricated building.
这个案例呢，是我们和南京嘉义公司，就是我们李进董事长所在公司进行合作的一个项目。
And this is a collaborated project with Mr. Li Jing from Nanjing Canyon.
由我们出设计的图纸，由在嘉义公司呢进行现场的打印，在工厂打印，在现场进行建造。
The drawings were produced by us, and the components are printed by Nanjing Canyon, and then the components were installed at site.
我们最终的目标呢，就是用3D 打印技术来打印这栋房屋所有的建筑构件。
Our final goal is to print every component of this building with 3D printing
最大化呢统一构建的规格，
to maximize the
specification，
the specification of each component. Sorry.
减少构件的种类，
To minimize the variation of this component,
同时呢能够发挥构建3D 打印技术的打印这种曲面的异形构件方面的优势。
and to maximize the advantages in printing the irregular shapes.
我们还有一个更重要的目标，
And one more important goal
就是使这个建筑物能够符合满足现在中国的关于建筑设计的一些规范，结构设计的规范。
One more important goal is to make sure that this building is produced in compliance with the codes and standards of Chinese regulations,
使这个项目呢能够真正实现市场化的落地。
and to make sure this project can be executed in the market.
首先呢，我们把这个房屋就是我们是一个市政设备用房。
This one is actually an infrastructure house,
它主要包括了以下几种构件的类型：
which includes the following components:
外维护的墙体构件、
the exterior wall component,
屋面构件、
roof component,
内分隔墙构件。
partition wall.
这些构件呢，都是在嘉义的工厂进行打印制造。
These components were printed in Canyon.
这张图片呢，就是屋面构件。
This one is the roof.
另外几张呢是外墙构件。
The rest were the exterior wall.
所有的构件呢，在工厂打印成型，
Here is the fabricated component,
然后被整体全部运输到建造的现场。
and were transported to site for assembly.
现场里面包括了 外墙构件，还有外墙转角的连接构件等等。
This includes the exterior wall and also the corners of the wall.
这些构件呢，将在现场整体装配为这个完整的建筑整体。
These were to be assembled as a full house.
大家可以看到，这外墙构件呢，中间有一个空腔。
You will notice that there is an empty chamber in the wall component.
形成空腔的目的呢，是在减少这个构件自重的同时呢，也可以提高这个外墙的热工性能。
The purpose of setting up this empty chamber is to reduce the weight, whereas to increase the thermal performance.
下面我简单谈一下就是装配的过程。
And now I'm about to talk about the assembly process.
首先，外墙水平上的构件，
The
通过互相的拼接，
The horizontal parts were joined together,
拼接以后呢，在这个连接处形成一个空腔。
and there will be another chamber. Another chamber is formed at the joint part,
这个空腔呢，会在拼装完成后呢，在空腔中植入钢筋，
and the reinforcement bar will be installed in this empty chamber,
然后浇筑混凝土，
and concrete will be casted inside
形成一个结构柱。
to form a structural column.
这种做法呢，是满足现在中国的结构叫气体结构设计规范。
And this method is in compliance with the Chinese standard for masonry structures.
外墙呢，纵向的构件之间呢，通过这种砂浆进行连接。
The vertical parts are joined together with this mortar.
在建造的现场呢，首先先将第一层的外墙构件呢进行定位装配，
The first layer of the components were aligned and assembled first.
然后呢再逐次安装上层的外墙构件。
And then the upper part will be installed later.
在装配的过程中呢，同时进行相关这些缝的抹平，还有误差的处理。
During the installation, the certain treatment will be done over the components, like eliminating the variances.
在完成这个外维护构件的装配以后呢，进行在外墙的空腔中呢浇筑混凝土。
And after the fully installed, after the components are aligned, and then the chambers will be casted with the concrete.
最后呢，安装屋面的构件，
And the roof part will be installed lastly,
并进行屋面的防水处理，
and the waterproof treatment as well.
最终完成这个管线和门窗的安装。
And the pipelines, doors, windows will be installed lastly.
最终这个房屋呢，它的3D 打印构件总可以分成3大类，
There are three main categories of the 3D printed components,
总共有51块构件，
altogether 51 pieces,
其中外墙构件有40块，
among which there are 40 exterior wall components,
隔墙构件有1块，
one partition wall,
屋面构件有10块，
10 roof components.
数量相对是比较少的。
This is a relatively small figure.
最后我想谈一下，就是 3D 打印呢，我们可以简单把它称之为2个阶段，一个是工厂打印阶段和现场打印阶段。
For the 3D printing, construction 3D printing, we wish to put this into two processes. One is a factory printing, the second one is a site printing.
目前我们所实践的是在工厂制造，就是工厂打印阶段的一个工作。
Right now, what we achieve is to print the component in the factory.
我们认为将来的发展，最终3D 打印最大的优势是实现现场的整体打印成型。
And we see that the future is, and what we hope is the same, that we wish to realize the on-site printing.
所以我们这个团队呢，现在只是在3D 打印在装配式建筑中的应用，做了一个初步的探索。
And this is a preliminary research into the prefabricated building construction with 3D printing technology.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.